Hey guys, it's the Prophet here with another video, and today we're just going to talk about these new patch notes that just came out. As you can see here on my screen, the downtime today for me is at 9 a.m. and it looks like it's going to be for about 3 hours. And we're going to see if these patch notes can actually save the game, because right now the game, as you may know, is pretty stale right now, and there's not too much to do, and it's plagued with a lot of bugs and fixes that they need to do. So let's jump right into it. So as you guys know, gold sellers, this is actually a huge problem right now. If you play the game a little, you'll see that gold selling is a huge issue and it's spammed all around. So I do like these changes a lot, that you cannot even trade gold or even use the trading post unless you have a level 10 or who has 72 hours in your account. So that's a huge thing right there. That's going to eliminate a lot of gold sellers, so hopefully we can continue making changes like these quality of life changes, which Amazon seems to be listening to feedback and actually making those changes that are needed. So for the exploits, as you guys know, the trading posts were down for 2 or 3 days this week, so not many people were able to trade at all. So fixed the bug where people were able to duplicate items, which is exactly why they basically shut down trading in all forms of gold selling, and same with the gold duping on territories. So hopefully with this patch fix, I know in the past every time they release a new patch something else breaks, so let's pray that at the noon today that this is completely fixed and solved and we don't have to worry about it anymore. For combat, these are where all the big ones are that hopefully I think will save the game, because people are leaving in herds right now and servers are dying. Thank God server transfers are here, because my team may even be moving servers hopefully soon, because there's just no one wants to fight anymore. So life staff is getting a slight nerf again. As you can see, we no longer triggers on pass through from the Aegis upgrade. It will only trigger on impact against enemy/object now, so that's a big change. This is a huge change for testing new things. So reduce the attribute respec coin cost by 60%. So this is just going to be your attributes, your dexterity, strength, con. So this is going to be huge. So I think it's down to 200 coin now. So if you want to go 100% into Constitution to go do your mine or do your logging, it's going to cost only 200 coins. If you want to go respec for mining and put it all in the strength, it's only going to cost 200 coins. That is a huge change. That's going to be so nice for the game. Reduce weapon respec cost by 75%. So this is actually insane too. It used to be 250 Azoth. I think it's going to be down to like 50, which is just insane how much you can respec your weapons now without having to worry about it. This is going to go from respecing into wars, respecing into solo PvP, respecing into open world PvP, respecing into Outpost Rush. This is just going to be absolutely insane, and there's going to be so many new opportunities to test things. Reduce the coin cost of chisels. This is actually a huge thing. I don't know if you guys know what chisels are. Chisels are used for making keys at the moment. So in your faction vendor rep, they sell these chisels, and for the high-end keys you need to buy the chisels, and 20 to 50% is actually an insane amount, because right now they're very expensive and it doesn't really make sense to run them, because it's like 1,000 gold for one key, and that's expensive as hell because you can't really make that much money by running a key. So this is a good change as well. And they did mention in the future that they are going to be turning the amount of costs for tuning orbs. So hopefully in a couple months, they said December or end of November, that running dungeon keys are going to be pretty cheap, and they're going to make a change to make sure that you can run them more often, so that hopefully they stick by their word and we're able to get that as well. So as you guys know, with Outpost Rush, coin and Azoth rewards were absolutely insane. It's the best way to farm money right now. It's the best way to farm Azoth. You could do 2 wins and you're kept on Azoth. So this is actually a good thing, because the losing team would still get a fair amount of stuff. This is just a bug fix that it's not going to affect anyone really. Identical weapon equipping. This is kind of big. I I understand the reasoning for it, but it's going to piss off a lot of people. So a lot of people, like life staff users, they would just play the same weapon. They'd have a life staff in the main hand, life staff in the offhand, which they just had mostly a stat stick in the second hand. So that just means like they would have 30 focus life staff in their offhand, but never use it just for the 30 focus. Because as you know, your secondary still gives you the attributes. So players can no longer swap. So this also led to a couple bugs with the fire staff as well, and having people being able to double abilities and whatnot. So hopefully this can fix some of that stuff. Group scaling passives, these were the things that were completely breaking the game right now. The Great Axe bug, as much as you guys know, people were hitting people with 6,000 crits with the Great Axe constantly, and two-shutting people all over the place. And hopefully this broke in the last patch and it came up, so hopefully with this patch we don't get another crazy bug that just breaks the game completely and ruins PvP for everyone. Same with the Ice Storm and Gravity Well. These were broken beforehand, and I don't know if this is going to be in this patch notes, but it says caused by several magic spells. So as you know, I'm a bow user, and Poison Arrow right now is broken, just as same as Ice Storm and Gravity Well. If you do not hit the target directly, the Poison Cloud does absolutely nothing. So hopefully Poison Cloud is in this. If not, that's going to be very depressing. But as long as they fixed Ice Storm and Gravity Well, that's good. This was also a massive, massive problem in PvP, the Resilient Item perk. As you guys know, Void Bent, if you ever used Void Bent or seen someone Void Bent, every single piece has the Resilient perk on it. So instead of Resilient just causing crits, it would be reduced all damage. So you can stack up to, I think it was 40% reduced damage if you had a full set of Void Bent. So now, instead of 40% all damage, it's going to be 40% from just critical hits. So let's pray this is done right and that you can actually kill people now in heavy armor that have the Resilient perk, because if you can't, that's going to be very annoying. PvP, this is just healing each other. They also mentioned something else about PvP flagging the other day in another forum post, is that I don't know if it's coming in this patch because it's not in these patch notes, but they said that they will allow people to they're going to add luck percentage to people who flag, and they also are going to add a way to see who else is flagged on your faction, so you can understand if you're going into a fight and the person next to you seems unflagged at the time, or their countdown is going off, that you can actually tell if they're actually flagged and they're waiting for their cooldown to come off. So I think the luck thing is going to be huge for the high-end end game zones, because depending on how much luck they give, that's huge for either watermark farming or even just mining in general or gathering. It's just going to be absolutely huge for the end game zones, and hopefully it's going to cause a lot of open world PvP. This is just some Outpost rush fixes. This was a huge problem as well. As you guys know, the altar in Outpost rush, that's where you summon the brutes. And if you had 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 people all deposit 25 Azoth at the end together, then you all get a token. So you can dupe brutes, and people can get like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 brutes with just 500 Azoth. And it would kind of break the whole game, because you have to deal with brutes the rest of the game, and as you guys know, brutes are not fun. This is just summon allies, look hostile. This was a big one too, the battle bread. If you use the battle bread, it says that it does 10% more damage to enemies, but in reality it was being, first of all, it wasn't really called that. It wasn't doing that. The battle bread was actually used for 10% resistance, so you took 10% less damage from enemies. But the food buff was actually doubling or even tripling, so it was doing 20-30% less damage. Every time you drank it or ate it, you would get a buff that made people hit you for 20% less, so that was kind of broken as well. That's why if you felt like no one was dying in Outpost Rush, this was probably the big reason on it. This, and then the Resilient perk as well. See, now they're going to actually describe what they provide. Teleport loop, that's fine. That's fine. Repair kits should no longer cost coin to use. That's kind of big for repair kits. I wonder if that's going to change the meta over. I know people struggle with repair parts and whatnot, but I mean, if you do the chest runs in my other videos, this is going to be absolutely still worthless. This was a huge one. It's a big fix. If you didn't put the consumable on your bar, sometimes if you try to use it in your bag, it would just break and it would use some random ass consumable in your bag, which made no sense. So hopefully this helps. Just an invasion, housing tax. This was a big one for fire staffs, canceling your animation if you swapped weapons and whatnot, so people would get really annoyed with this, so let's hope it's fixed for good. Same with the ice gauntlet and the upgraded pylon dodge. Nothing here. Nothing here. Training posts become unresponsive or delayed. Let's hope that's fixed. Nothing here. I mean, it's server performance. Hopefully they can add this into the wars. Nothing crazy here. This is probably the biggest one on this entire list that people don't really realize. Is I mentioned in my other videos, if you watch the gear score watermark farming, the chests that I do and everything else, the cap on it was 591. So if you get to 591, there's no chance to go higher. 589 supposedly was the cap, and you can always get a 2 gear score higher than what your watermark is. So right now, I guess my watermark is 589, and I've been getting those +2 to 591. But in reality, if I got a 591, that should now go to, I should have the option to get a 593. And then once I get a 593, I should have the option to get a 595, and so on and so forth. But right now, the game only is stuck at 589. So hopefully, after this, the chest run should be able to get you all the way up to the item level 600 gear, if you're lucky. All the elite chests in Merkguard, Scorched Mines, those should all be able to get you all the way up to 600 gear score. So I hope you guys have been doing the watermark farm and enjoying that and getting some good loot. And yeah, yeah, that's about it. I mean, I didn't really want to make a patch video, but I figured since these patch notes were so in depth and there's a lot of major fixes in here that I felt like I should. There's going to be a lot of patch note videos out there, but I felt this one was super important. So I hope you guys enjoy and get some info, and if you have any questions, please leave them down below, and I'll see you in the next one.